Felicia Johnson from San Diego, California, had recently celebrated her 24th birthday on April 10th, 2022. That's her and her father, who attended the function with other family and friends. The 24-year-old booked a flight to Houston, Texas. It was reported that it was a birthday trip, but Felicia had plans to stay longer. She had other family in the area and was looking for a job. Felicia went to this strip club, CoverGirls, for an audition, but was turned away. According to some of the workers there, she was upset and ended up leaving the club with one of their regulars. That was on Friday, April 15th, and the last day that anyone heard from her. Here's a story of a young woman interested in anything glamour: modeling, dancing, makeup, hair, and fast money. Entangled in the city girl lifestyle, often promoted by rappers like Young Miami and JT, Meg Thee Stallion, stripper culture promoted by Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. Women all over social media teaching other women how to trick men for money.
So you girls know my channel's about manipulating men, taking money from them, playing them. And a lot of comments say, do you ever feel bad? Do you ever think that karma's gonna get to you? The simple answer is no, I don't care. I don't feel bad at all playing these men. No remorse, no feelings towards them at all.
The purpose of telling this story is to bring awareness to young women about these types of activities, show them that living like this is not just wrong, but it's extremely dangerous. Take a second to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Click that notification bell for all updates. If you're from San Diego or Houston, let us know below. I definitely want to hear from you. Felicia Johnson's family hadn't heard from her since Friday, April 15th. Her father was very concerned, so he hired a PI to locate his daughter. Her cell phone found at Bear Creek Park, covered in blood, but Felicia was nowhere to be found. Her father flew out to Houston from California and said that he was not going to rest until he located his daughter or found out what happened to her. Her cell phone hadn't been used. No social media postings, no credit card transactions. Luckily, her father was able to get the local media in Houston to bring attention to his missing daughter, as well as community leaders like Quanell X, who also worked with her father.
Good evening, everyone. I am Xavier Walton. It has been a week of desperate searching. 24-year-old Felicia Johnson hasn't been seen in more than a week, and tonight her family held a vigil where her phone was found. Zach Tawatari was there and joins us from HPD headquarters with more. Zach.
Xavier, Felicia Johnson's family and community activists believe foul play was involved in her disappearance. They're begging anyone with information to come forward as they came together today in prayer.
Felicia!
It's been over a week.
Some kind of way I'm finding the strength to just keep going and do what's necessary for her.
Since Kevin Johnson's daughter, 24-year-old Felicia Marie Johnson, disappeared.
Every day gets harder.
On Sunday, he was back at Bear Creek Park, the site where her bloody cell phone was recovered, alongside community activist Quanell X, pleading for anyone with information to come forward.
This sister deserves to be found. That's right. We must find her.
According to Quanell, leads have taken them to what he says are fake social media pages.
To make it look and seem as though she's still out there doing something other than at harm's way. We firmly believe that she is the victim of foul play.
Felicia was last seen at CoverGirls nightclub on West Little York, where she applied for a job. According to Quanell, an unidentified customer offered her a ride, and he believes she was taken against her will.
Felicia, hang in there, sister. We love you. We're looking for you. We're hunting for you, and we will not stop.
And as they continue to pray for her, her father ending with a message to the daughter he says is a very sweet person with a kind heart.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm here. Daddy here.
And Crime Stoppers announcing today they're offering up to a $5,000 reward in this case. If you know anything, you're urged to call 713-222-TIPS. Xavier?
Hoping that family gets some answers soon. Zach Tawatari, thank you.
The club denied any involvement in Felicia's disappearance, and their attorney told the media that they are fully cooperating with HPD. The club said that Felicia did not complete an application, but according to the PI, workers at the club said Felicia was there applying for a job. The club gave all of their surveillance footage to Houston police. They said they didn't have a camera outside of the club, but gave them footage from the interior of the establishment. Felicia Johnson was missing for weeks before detectives got a hold of her Uber records. Those records from Uber linked her to a Nigerian man. 28-year-old Chukwunebuka Nwobodo. That's the man who requested a ride for Felicia from her hotel, the Intercontinental, to his apartment on April 16th. Using that information from Uber, they got his phone number and email address. Then they found his name and address in police records from a November 2020 police report where he was being investigated for a crime. That case, where he was accused of sexual assault, was dismissed when the alleged victim declined to press charges. Felicia communicated with him on Snapchat, where she agreed to meet him for $500. They took a look at his bank account and they found a transaction in the amount of $500. He withdrew the money from his Wells Fargo account on the same day. Records also show that on that day he met up with Felicia, and the day after, the 17th, he purchased several supplies from Walmart and Home Depot, including a flashlight, shirt, gloves, saws, trash bags, and towels. And he seemed to be really interested in figuring out how to clean up a crime scene. He made several searches relative to cleaning DNA evidence, deleting digital information, missing persons investigations, and how to get away with murder. On May 13th, almost a month after she went missing, HPD conducted a search warrant and arrested the man after they said they found blood, weapons, receipts, and supplies in his car. They also found Felicia's DNA and blood in his apartment. In his cell phone, they found a picture of a dismembered woman and 3 additional photos of deceased individuals.
Disturbing details are continuing to emerge regarding a man now charged with murdering and dismembering a woman. This is after taking her to his West Houston apartment. Fox 26's Domly Keith joining us live with a warning for thousands of Houstonians. Domly.
Yeah, according to court records, Felicia Johnson and the man now charged with her murder, they agreed to meet up on Snapchat, and he was supposed to pay her $500. That's according to court records. Well, she hasn't been seen since, and tonight there is a warning for the thousands of Houstonians who work in the sex industry.
Anybody can become a victim of a villain.
That's the first point Precinct 1 Human Trafficking Victim Services Director Katherine Griffin wants to drive home. Let the murder of 24-year-old Felicia Johnson be a learning lesson, and don't think it can't happen to you.
It is so dangerous, and every media outlet should be screaming from the rooftops on how dangerous this is, and let stories like this be known.
Chukwuebuka Nwobodo is now charged with murdering and dismembering Felicia Johnson after investigators say her blood was found in his apartment. Court documents show she was last seen April 16th leaving her hotel in an Uber paid for by Nwobodo. On April 17th, investigators say he bought a handheld and a power saw, towels, and trash bags. And according to court records, even as Nwobodo searched the internet for things like, can bleach destroy DNA, and the most forested part of Houston, he also Googled Houston escorts. And there are tens of thousands here.
I would estimate and say anywhere from 70 to 80,000 sex industry workers daily.
That's a lot, just in Houston, Harris County.
Yes.
Griffin wants sex workers to do a few things to stay safe, such as don't meet at a client's home, but most of all, she wants you to know help getting out of this industry is available.
It's very vitally important that individuals know to reach out to us so that we can help.
Now, Precinct 1 can help with everything from treatment to therapy to housing and finding a job. We have contact information for them on our website. Felicia Johnson's body, by the way, still hasn't been found, and her accused killer is still on the run. Reporting live near downtown Houston, I'm Domly Keith, Fox 26 News.
Miss Kathy, she's out here trying to help thousands of adult workers involved in this lifestyle in Houston. I call what she's doing thought prevention as well. She's more focused on doing it safely, but to me, I think it's more about not doing it at all. The suspect was arrested, but Houston police released him, and now he's on the run. You know, Houston PD, you wouldn't have to be looking for him if you had only kept him locked up. You have DNA of a missing woman in this man's car and apartment, along with photos of several deceased women in his phone, and you let him out of jail? It's like locking up Ted Bundy and telling him, okay, it's all right, you can leave. Just crazy. Remember the DARE program back in the day? The 80s and 90s babies may remember that. The Say No to Drugs campaign, or else something bad is going to happen to you. Well, that's the purpose of thought prevention. You have all these women out here teaching females how to be sugar babies and work in adult lifestyles, but none of them will give you a RIP. None of them will post you when you're gone. None of them. They will act like you never existed, like you were never influenced by them. People get mad when I say it, but stories like Mercedes Morr and Felicia Johnson, these are stories that can be used as thought prevention. If this can't scare a young woman straight, I don't know what will. We're looking at the reality of this hazardous lifestyle. If you remember, Mercedes' father had to find his daughter in the apartment along with the man who deleted her. A guy thought to be one of her customers, a man who spent a lot of money on her. And in this case, you have Felicia's father having to stop his life and go down to Houston. He's downtown looking for city officials, anybody who's going to take this hunt for his daughter seriously. Because we also know cases involving Black women, the priority isn't high. Young ladies, I know all this 304 culture is cute to you, but this can be the consequence for choosing to live this lifestyle. Felicia's father, he was aware that his daughter got sucked up into this, but even his influence wasn't strong enough to combat the external influences that's taken the minds and souls of our women. Condolences to Felicia's family in Houston, her family and friends in San Diego, her siblings, her father, who's having to digest the fact that somebody did this to his daughter. Let's get the conversation started. The police arrested this man after they performed the search warrant and found evidence that he could possibly be responsible for multiple missing women, not just Felicia Johnson. Why would they arrest him and release him? Houston PD really dropped the ball on this one. I just don't understand why they let this guy out. Again, RIP to Felicia Johnson. Shout out to our brothers Ian and Dark Power. Remember, you can support the channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.